What is a mortgage broker? What's the difference between a broker versus using a bank? First of all, I'm reminded of a story. A bank is like a friend that will only borrow you an umbrella if there's no chance for rain. And many of us probably feel that way when there's a chance that, when you have a deal, when you have a house you want to buy, you have a dream, and the bank doesn't really understand us. And so that way, brokers, just to be fair, we use many different banks. But I think one common thing that you'll hear the difference of, a broker will always refer to our lender partners or our lenders. We don't really say bank. Sometimes we'll say bank, but the reason for that is because we use many different lenders. So people that lend money, we use traditional banks, we use credit unions, we use monolines that specialize in specifically doing mortgages. They are a one-line lender, monoline. We use private lenders, we use B lenders. And so there's lots of different options to get your deal approved. Mortgage brokers will often refer to them as lenders, whereas there are definitely different types of banks and different types of money lenders. I think a lot of reason why people don't get approved for a mortgage is because they don't always understand what a mortgage is. And I know that's true in my experience with some experiences I've had over the years dealing in mortgages. Some people have been declined to get a mortgage because they don't quite understand what it is. And going back to that, illustration, if a bank is your friend that will only borrow an umbrella if there's no chance for a rain, then it is our job as the people that want to get a mortgage. And the mortgage broker's job is to fit you with the right product and to work with you. But it's our job as, let's say, hey, I want to buy a house, to set yourself up for the best chance of success. So you want to make sure that the bank, if there's any risk, that the bank or the lender has many reasons to mitigate that risk, to be able to justify if there's a small risk that they're taking, but maybe your credit score is so super high, and in that way you're mitigating the risk. And as a mortgage broker, there's a huge benefit because I can look over your file and I can right away cross out a few lenders that might not consider doing the file. That does not mean anything bad on the person that's looking to get a mortgage. It just means certain banks have certain policies and this wouldn't fit. That's really where mortgage brokers can shine, because they can look at your file and say your credit's strong, but maybe a few other things, maybe you've switched work recently or gone to a few different places. And so a broker can really connect and say, we've got a lender partner here that is right for you, that works for you. And in that way, a broker can shine. But on the other hand, banks often have, if you're a strong client, you have a high net worth, you've been with the same bank for a very long time, there can be benefits that way where the branch manager and you're a strong net worth client. Banks can also give good approvals that way. So I don't want to give the illusion that mortgage brokers is the only way, but even though mortgage brokers do a lot of legwork for you, they do a lot of background check for you, and then when they come back with the options, usually it's a fairly exhaustive study and search that they've done. And so just to reiterate the point, very often we can set ourselves up for success by understanding what the bank is looking for. So the bank is looking for, so to say, an investment partner. They're looking for somebody that when they borrow you the money, they can benefit by making money. I've often told people, and I really stand by this, find ways to make the bank money. Like if your dream can make the bank money and it's a surefire way, you'll have a very high chance of getting an approval and very high chance of funding your project, very high chance of moving forward. And the reason is because banks are excited about people that have done their due diligence and that know, here's the plan and here's how I mitigate risk. Everyone knows that everything has risk, and home ownership has risk. Buying your first home, there's risk. If you've put the thought in how you're gonna mitigate risk, and these are the options, and they're very, very solid plans, there's concrete ideas as to how the bank will not be losing money, you have a much higher chance of getting approval versus if you just wing it and say, you know what, I missed a few payments, but let's see how it goes. Life happens, so banks are not rigid where everything has to be just so. They have a few policies that have to be met. There are some policies that are like deal breakers, but then there are also certain things that, life happens and you miss a phone bill payment, you do some things, and a bank won't necessarily cut you out. Some banks have stricter policies on that than others. And again, if you're dealing with a broker, you should be working with a mortgage professional that can clarify these details for you and that can explain the process and that can help you to understand what the situation is. That way, if anyone ever says, yeah, you didn't approve for that mortgage because your credit is bad, then you should know exactly why. Your credit isn't high enough. Well, what does that mean, right? And as a broker, I would often use the term your credit score, because that way, that's what I'm referring to. I'm referring to either your Equifax or your TransUnion score. And different things will impact that score. If you're making your payments on time or not making your payments, if you are overextended on your credit cards, maybe you have your credit cards over 50% full. Those are things that I can explain and then say, if right now is not a time to get the mortgage, I can give you some solid steps and say in 3 to 6 months, if we do these steps, then you will get a mortgage, because that will correct the credit. So oftentimes that's another reason I think, your mortgage professional, whether it is the bank or it is a mortgage broker, somebody independent from that specific bank, in either case, they should be able to explain to you what's up, why it doesn't work or why it is working. And if you have other ambition, possibly getting into more rental property, they should be able to guide you through that process, and they should be able to help you understand, because understanding the mortgage helps you get approved. Understanding what lenders are looking for in the mortgage helps you get approval. And in that way, it makes life easier, because now it's not so daunting, so stressful that I'm gonna go try getting approved. Now it's just a matter of, I've done these steps, and I know that if I do these 5 things, let's say, or these 7 things, then that will help me get a better chance of getting an approval. And as a broker, that's what I would focus on, is explaining what do I mean when I say your credit score. Like there must be something specific impacting why it's not approved, right? Rarely, and it does happen, do we just get we won't approve this file. That happens very rarely, but for the most part, we can always coach along the way and say, do these couple things and we can make your dream come true. Hey guys, if you like this kind of content, leave a comment. Please subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Please subscribe to the channel and leave us tips, give us ideas. We'd love to hear your ideas on how to make it better, how to make it more informative. The goal really is you can, take charge of your life and basically get the information with mortgages and with financing and using leveraging to your advantage, instead of always feeling like you got to depend on lenders and hopefully the bank will come through for you, but so that you can take charge and really empower yourself. So leave a comment, subscribe, and have an awesome day.